Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so Skip, Shannon, let's get to it. Good morning. Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from LA. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. How we doing, guys?
Tired, Skip. You walk the steps every morning. You see how they got the elevator blocked down?
I run the steps every morning.
Well, I walk them, but I'm out of breath.
You're out of breath?
Yeah.
Well, somebody else who's going to be out of breath tonight at the crypt is your poor man LeBron, because he is up against it with the Bucks. He's about to get Greek freaked at home.
You want 2 cases?
I'll take Milwaukee.
Give me the points.
No,
Man,
you said 2 cases. You said 2 cases.
What's the line?
Huh?
No, give me the
There's
line.
no line.
Yes, it is.
It's pick 'em.
We're making the show. Let's put your money where your mouth
You tried to
is, right?
pick me. That's what you tried to do.
I tried to pick your pocket.
You sure did.
All right, fine. We'll get to that, I'm sure, later. We got a whole show. We have so much Super Bowl to discuss. But you know what? I feel like Skip probably woke up with a little smile on his face.
He did.
Just a little grin, because just a week after announcing that, he's stepping away from football, Tom Brady has left the door open for a potential comeback. On his weekly podcast, the 44-year-old GOAT said, quote, "Never say never," when asked if he could return to football, adding, "I feel very good about my decision, but," and that's a big but I don't know how I'll feel 6 months from now. So Shannon, were you smiling with this? Scale of 1 to 10, what are the chances he plays next season?
On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm already over Tom Brady, a 1,700. This is ridiculous, Skip. But
I know that you're already over
I'm
him.
over
Okay.
it.
I get that. I get that.
Oh, you get it too, huh?
Okay, but
2.
Back to Jenny's question. It's a 2.
I'm going to give it a 2.
Okay.
But he
2
played.
to come back.
2 to come back.
all right.
He's coming back.
Because I look at it like this, Skip. The things that drove him away from the game are still in place if he were to try to come back from the game. He mentioned the people that's been so supportive of him over the last decade, mainly his wife and kids. Will they not need any more support if he were to come back? So what changed? I mean, the man been retired a week. Normally, we let this thing go, you ask him 2 months from now, 3 months from now, well, you never say never. Hell, we get 72 hours from his retirement, his announcement, and he's already talking about never say never. For a guy that didn't want a farewell tour, for a guy that didn't want that kind of attention, he seems to be wanting a lot of attention now.
You could argue that.
There's no arguing.
Okay.
Will you just have we're having a healthy discussion, and I think you're in agreement with me. He's starting to look like the other guy last year that dominated the offseason. The guy he only got 1 Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. The guy who's 7-9 since that 1 Super Bowl and playoff games, 1-4 in NFC Championship
all
games.
that being true.
Yeah.
And now you're a guy that, he just likes to be in the back. He's nothing like the other superstars. He doesn't want the attention. He doesn't want a farewell tour. He just wants to announce it on his own terms. I get that didn't happen. Someone leaked the information. But now all of a sudden, 72 hours after he makes the announcement, now he's talking, never say never. I get it. And that's what I said the other day, Skip. There's going to be a lot of back and forth. Even when I made the announcement that I was going to retire, I was still training, I was still running, I was still lifting, I was still eating as if I was going to go play. And then it came time for, training. The day we were supposed to report to training camp, I'm like, hey, I ain't got no bag packed. I'm good.
Were you good?
I was
on that day.
I was good. But see, Skip, it was different for me. Tom still likes the meetings. To this day, I still don't like meetings.
Do I? Thank you for revealing that publicly. Somebody meets by himself now, but go ahead.
I don't like the meetings. Tom loves those kind of things. I miss the interaction with the guys, Skip. But look, Tom, come on, bruh. Enjoy life. I just wasn't he throwing a football on jet skis to David Beckham's son? And I don't even know where they were. Parts unknown.
Yep.
I thought I was in a comic that said parts unknown. Nobody knew where Tom Brady was. Wasn't even on the map. And already, Skip, he's talking about never say never. Come on, Tom. I just don't believe the things that probably advanced his retirement. I don't believe these things disappear in 6 months. So that's why I'm saying it's a 2 that he comes back.
Okay. That's actually pretty big of you, because I thought you were going to go like less than 0 chance. but if you give it a 2, you give it some chance.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You give it a 1/5 chance, 2 out of 10, right?
Right. Especially within the first year.
Okay. We're within the first week, man.
We're within the first 72 hours.
All right. I'm going to first speak my heart over my head.
Okay.
My heart is screaming at me, hey, he just came to the realization that what I was saying from the start is what he's feeling now, which is, what are you doing?
Right.
What do you mean? Because you want to talk about all-time blindsided? When my source at the Bucks first told me we're going to be pleasantly surprised and then amended it to shocked if he comes back, I was beyond shocked because I did not see that coming.
Right.
All I know is that Pro Football Focus, your favorite website, graded his season, this past season, as far and away the best season in pro football. They say he should win MVP. He's not going to win MVP. Aaron Rodgers has been a runaway. But my point is, Brady knows in his heart of hearts, he was pretty good this year. You could argue he was very good this year.
Yeah, he was.
They beat Philly in a playoff game. No big deal. He was pretty good in that game. And then against the Rams, he got off to a slow start, but he roared back to life, and they scored 24 unanswered points against the team that is favored to win the Super Bowl to bring it all the way back to 27-all. In the fourth quarter, he threw for 125 yards passing in the fourth quarter. It was obviously not his fault that they had a blitz blunder at the end of I still can't get in my head. I can't compute it because I don't know what they were doing. People are calling it a zero blitz. It's cover one because Antoine Winfield is still standing back there. But obviously, Cooper Kupp's running a decoy route. Sean Murphy-Bunting had him in the slot and just blitzes off the slot, untouched, unblocked, and just cold stops and says, okay, go ahead and throw it. I don't know. So Brady knows this in his heart of hearts that they were right there to be the team that's favored to win the Super Bowl. So if they go on, who knows what's going to happen. They're going to
be favored.
Okay. If they got to this point, they're going to be favored.
Yes.
All right. So is he, by 44-year-old standards, completely healthy, about as healthy as you could ever hope to be at 44 playing professional football?
Yes.
Yes, he is. As far as we know, there's nothing going on.
Correct.
Did he have any concussion issues this year? Not to my knowledge. He's had them in the past. I believe he had one at Chicago going back to the first year in Tampa. Remember that horrendous Thursday night, this game?
Yes.
Right?
He lost track of the
Khalil Mack rang his bell.
He did.
And I think that they had to sweep that one under the carpet because they never even listed on the injury report.
Well, they couldn't sweep it under the carpet from Giselle because she saw it.
She saw it. I don't know if it computed for her, but she saw what happened.
Right.
Okay, so my point is, you can undercut this, you can pick it to pieces all you want, and I welcome all that. And you well could be right. But this is Tom Brady going human on you right before your very eyes, where he's always so buttoned up, so planned, so plotted, so calculated that it seemed like he'd been planning all year. This is going to be it. I'm not going to tell anybody. I don't want a farewell tour. This is just going to be it. And when it ends, however it ends, I am gone because I've made up my mind and my heart. I'm done. And that's how it came across to me. Well, then why so quickly? You know, he told Jim Gray before the podcast started, tee me up with this one because I want to I want to drop a little hint out there. I want to cast a line way out into the deepest end of the water,
Yes.
Because the message he just sent was to any team in doubt about his quarterback that, hey, I just might reconsider. He said, who knows what could happen over the next 6 months? Well, it's happening already to you because I believe it hits you like 10 tons of bricks that you're still playing at the highest level and you're healthy. And now you've had 3 days to go sit at home and try to work your Zoom meetings for all of your investments and everything you got going, your portfolio.
The fitness app and all that stuff.
And all that stuff. And you know what? It ain't no fun. And this is Super Bowl week, and you've been 10 times the center of attention in 10 Super Bowl weeks where you were internationally famed, right?
Yes.
You were known worldwide. You were the center of Super Bowl attention. And all of a sudden you're not. And you're starting to find out what anybody finds out in the first few months. All of a sudden you're not that big a deal anymore. Nobody really cares what you're thinking or what you're posting.
Yeah.
Nobody really cares like they used to care. And he clearly is having second, third, fourth, fifth thoughts to where, look, if now I'll go back to my head. Is it possible that he can be, a kidder on social media? He likes to toy with everybody. He likes to have fun with everybody. Is this just a little sort of promotional ploy on his part to drop a little hint, knowing that the sports media world will go into a frenzy?
If that was the case, why would he do it at this moment? This is Matthew Stafford.
I know.
This is Joe Burrow.
I agree, because he's not built like that.
Exactly.
He doesn't do that. I think he is scrupulous in trying to let the others have their moment.
But here's the thing, Skip. He could have easily postponed both decisions to retire and possibly unretire until after the game.
Absolutely.
He didn't have to tell anybody. Skip.
Okay, I think his hand got called on the first one.
Yeah,
because of the ESPN report, Adam Schefter and Jeff Darlington, that he felt pushed into, okay, I give up, I retire.
But here's the thing, Skip. You mentioned it. Him retiring was not a 24-hour decision.
No.
It didn't happen all of a sudden because he lost to the Rams. You're thinking about this throughout the course of the season. Nobody knew. So you didn't tell anybody. So therefore, you didn't have to tell anybody that you were contemplating retirement.
No.
You could have easily waited. You knew there were only 2 weeks left.
Yep.
3 weeks left before the Super Bowl. You could have easily waited. You know now. This is going to be the story that's bigger than the Super Bowl. And guess what? I'm going to give it a week. I give it 1 week. Tom Brady's going to post on IG, him with a football, him working out with Guerrero. That's what's going to happen. And then what? All of a sudden, it's coming back again. Is Tom coming back? Isn't he coming back? For a guy that didn't want a farewell tour because it was going to take away, it was going to be a distraction, not only for him, but for the team. The guy's doing a lot to distract and gain attention and distract and take away from the Super Bowl.
Yep. Okay. So if you dissect his statement, if you try to parse it out, pick it to pieces, it's one conflicting sentence after another, where each sentence says, I don't think I'm going to come back.
Right.
But you never know. I almost certainly won't come back, but who knows how I'll feel in a week or 3 weeks or 6 months.
Right.
And it just goes back and forth like that for about 10 sentences.
Uh-huh.
And one sentence caught my eye, but I try to make the best possible decision I can in the moment, which I did last week. So he's admitting, under the circumstances, under fire, under the fallout from the ESPN report, I made the best decision I could at that moment.
But Skip, the decision had already been made. They were saying Tom Brady is leaning towards retirement. So his decision was made. The fact of the matter that someone in his inner circle leaked it to Adam Schefter or Jeff Darlington, that shouldn't have changed his mind. He didn't have to. I get it. And I said what he wanted to do was want to control it. He wanted to step to the... Well, he might have not went to the podium, but he wanted to release it on IG, Skip, under his own terms.
He did.
Well, when someone else beat him to the punch, now everybody else is a liar. His dad come out. Tommy has not made a decision.
That is true.
His Don G come out. I'm not going to get into the accuracies or the inaccuracies. Everybody is trying to circle the wagons,
He did.
knowing good and well Tom had already made the decision. But you, Skip, even though he wasn't going to be, there's nothing you can do now. Once somebody has already reported it, it's done. It's just like Michael Jordan. When Michael Jordan came back, what did he do, Skip? He sent a fax. Ain't nobody know. I'm back. I'm back. So guess what?
But that's classic 23, man.
Tom should have just, the emoji. I pieced him out.
But Shannon, if you had asked me 24 hours ago, if Jim Gray on the podcast that is yesterday,
right,
if he asks him, would you reconsider? I would have told you 24 hours ago, the biggest, fattest NO you could get.
Right.
Where it's not what Brady doesn't reconsider. He decides and he plunges and it's over.
Right.
And it just felt so over from the statement that he posted on IG.
Because he said he didn't feel he could give to the game what it deserved. It was now time for the new generation to take up the mantle. But let me ask you this, Skip. In 6 months, what changes in V life? What changes in
Vivian?
Vivian,
okay,
yeah,
the
definitely
9-year-old, yeah.
What changes in the other? So
nothing.
So now they're 9 years and 6 months. Now they're 12 years and 6 months. Now they're 14 and 6 months. So I'm just trying to figure out, Skip, what is going to change in his life that says, you know what, I can go back now. Because the thing that pulled you away is still there.
Okay, I'm going to repeat what my wife Ernestine told me, and she was all over me and all over both of us last week when she said, you guys got to quit blaming the family. It's as if it's their fault that they're stopping him from doing what he loves, what he's doing at the highest level.
Right.
And she said, give them a break here. It's his choice.
Yes.
He's gone all the way to 44 telling them no.
Right.
And there's some other reason that's a reason, but there's some bigger reason where he's just tired. He's done. You know, he wants to go on and be a mogul. You know, he wants to run all of his businesses.
Right.
Whatever that is. So I listened to her because she's pretty shrewd about these things. Right. And yet, in the end, is it possible that he just reconsidered and said, this is not making me happy to sit at home right now? He knows that, you know, the line he had last year was about, it's going to be hard for me to sit home and watch TV and watch quarterbacks play, and I know I'm better than them. And yet you said, you'll always think that.
Yes.
Like Brett Favre probably still thinks that right now.
Yes.
But I think Brady could think that about just about anybody right now and believe it in his heart.
Right.
And because of that, because maybe he watched the championship games and just said, hey, what am I doing? Maybe he woke up yesterday and said, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not sure about this. Maybe it's the first glimpse into Tom Brady as human that we've had.
Well, Skip, he saw the same week Ryan Tannehill played like he played. He saw the next week that Patrick Mahomes, how he played in the second half. He saw Jimmy Garoppolo lead the team and how he collapsed in the second half.
You once speculated that his line was about
Jimmy
that
G.
guy.
So
right?
for me, Skip, and I get Ernestine concerned a lot of time when guys do things, a lot of people say, well, you need to stop blaming the wife. You need to stop blaming the family. But I'm just thinking about what he said. He said, it's time for me to devote to them like they've devoted to me.
Okay, but in the end, I always got the feeling that he was more burned out on the Bucs than he was on football. Because remember what Levante David said?
Right.
We had issues.
Right.
We had internal issues.
Right.
I told you, I think the AB meltdown blow up, the Antonio Brown, I think it really got him because he worked so hard to make Antonio kind of his partner, you know, like somebody he could really trust. And then that happened at Jets. And it happened just on the eve of the playoffs, and it hurt them. Obviously, they lost a key cog in the passing game.
Right.
And it just felt like he's seeing the handwriting because they got a whole exodus of free agents.
Yeah.
They're going to have a hard time next
but
year.
here's the thing, Skip, and this is the problem that I have. Wasn't nobody talking about no distractions last year when they was winning.
Nope.
Everything was kumbaya. Oh, we coming back and Clyde Christensen running his yap. We're going to be better. Brady's going to be better. This offense is going to be better. His second year, everybody knows what the defense. We're bringing everybody back, and we're going to be better. And I said the same thing then that I said now. So while you guys are getting better, what are the other 31 teams going to do? You know, man, you know, Tom, they're trying to get better down there, so we might as well just sit back on our high horses and let them get better. Everybody's trying to get better. Now, all of a sudden, you didn't get to what you wanted to get to. Now, all of a sudden, we had some distractions. We had dissension in the locker room.
Well, maybe they did.
The issue, you still had the same issues, but winning masked a lot of those issues. And when you lose, now all of a sudden, everybody's bickering. What you get, Skip, when you win a championship, everybody believes they're the reason why you won that championship.
I got it.
People that cut the grass say, man, you know how I cut that grass just right. It was a quarter of an inch, not a half.
Correct. I agree.
You got the people that cooking, the janitorial services.
I agree.
Everybody wants to be responsible.
Yep.
Okay, nah, bro. It's hard to repeat. That's why it's been so few teams. Skip,
well, you did it.
Yes.
You know what it feels like.
Yes, it's hard.
Okay. So you were shocked. You bet a bunch of cases of Diet Dew against all those guys coming back because you said they earned their money elsewhere.
Yes.
They just won the championship.
Yes.
Starting with Shaq Barrett.
Shaq Barrett came back and Levante David resigned. Chris Godwin, they put Chris Godwin on a franchise tag so he couldn't leave.
Yeah.
And Dominican Sue came back. So I get
Leonard
it.
Fournette, Antonio Brown. They all came back.
You're very familiar in the situation, Skip. That's a system that I'm familiar with. I don't have to learn a new system. No tax, no state income tax in that state. Florida, I got Tom Brady. I get it.
All right, I get it. But it felt like he was casting his line into the water for another team to contact him and say, hey, would you consider us?
He under contract with Tampa.
He's got one more year.
Yeah.
He extended for salary cap purposes. I told you last week, if it came to this, if I'm going to do the hypothetical that I threw out, if San Francisco came to grips with, we've got to part ways with Jimmy G, and we're not quite sold that Trey Lance is completely ready to go as our everyday starter. Is it possible? Because that was Tom Brady's childhood team, right? He grew up in the shadow of Candlestick Park, loving Joe Montana and the 49ers.
Well, I traded Jimmy G for Tom.
Okay. All right. Well, that's the kind of thing that could happen. Well, seriously, would they take that as a stopgap? They might.
No.
Okay. Or would they just let Tom out because I'd say he did them a favor, choosing them?
Yeah, I appreciate it, but no, I'm not going to be.
No, you're not going to let him out? Okay. Well, there's a way to figure that out. There's a way for Tom to end, if he wanted to end where it all started back in San Mateo.
The way out of this is Tom to sit his butt home. Did you see that the Tuck Rule 30 for 30? You see that big old palatial estate Tom has on the water backed up to the canal? 33,000, however big the house is. I think it's St. Petersburg. I think that was Jeter's old house.
It was, yeah.
I mean, come on.
He's renting.
But I saw he just bought a plot of land down in Miami on Billionaires Road, somewhere what they call it.
I think he's got houses all over the place.
Skip, enjoy your life, man.
He's just haunting you, and he's not going to leave you alone. And you sat here on the day the news broke when Jenny interrupted us to say, we have breaking news. You got tears in your eyes because the league didn't force him to quit. He just opted out. It wasn't like they made him say no more.
He ain't getting no more tears because he up there playing now. I thought it was final. Now he going back and forth. I'm in, I'm out. I'm in, I'm out. Stop it. And I give it a week, 2 weeks max. You gonna see him throwing the football. He gonna be on the beach with those little bands. You gonna see him working out with Guerrero. It's coming.
Okay, so I'm going to answer Jenny's question to close this up. Scale of 1 to 10 on a comeback. I'm going to go up to a 5 right now. I'm going to go halfway because I don't know enough to know, but I'm going to go halfway up to he's right on the cusp. He's teetering on the brink of coming back.
Yeah, I mean, it reminds me of another guy last offseason that you said loved attention.
Yeah.
Are you willing to say Tom Brady?
What I'm not willing to do is put that guy, Aaron Rodgers, in the same breath with Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr.
What about attention? Can you put them in the same breath, the same kind of...
I think there's some attention deficit here.
Yeah,
I will give you that. I will give you that.
Checking.
I also think there's a heart of hearts saying, you know what? I'm just not ready to stop this because I'm playing at the highest level.
Ain't nobody forced you to stop. You stopped on your own because you said there are extenuating circumstances that needed you, that required all of your attention. It wasn't football.
Maybe for the first time in Tom Brady's life, he made a mistake.
Yeah,
how about that?
How many days do we have here? And Tom knows that we're all going to talk about this.
Yeah, he knows
it on his podcast.
Upstage in the Super Bowl.
That's what I keep going back to. All right, well, we're going to reopen the door. Maybe Tom is coming back. It's never done with Tom Brady, guys.
No mercy.
Well, guys, for the second straight offseason, the Texans have hired a new coach. Lovie Smith was promoted from within as he was named Houston's head coach yesterday, with the front office lauding him as a, quote, established leader. Before joining the Texans franchise, Lovie was previously the head coach at the University of Illinois for 5 years and had stints with the Buccaneers and Bears before that. So Shannon, Lovie and new Dolphins coach Mike McDaniel were the only two minority hires made during this coaching cycle. So how did all of this leave you feeling about the representation of minority head coaches in the NFL right now?
Well, I wasn't encouraged at all. I think this has more to do with the lawsuit than anything, Skip, because guess what? Brian Flores, you say that coaches, that black coaches, they have less tenure, they have less chances of getting jobs once they've been fired. We just hired Lovie Smith. Look at his record. He's the first African-American that's ever been hired 3 times. So how can your lawsuit hold merit?
Yep.
This is the first time, this is only the second time in NFL history that I can recall that a minority has replaced a minority. Jim Caldwell replaced Tony Dungy. That was because Jim Irsay thought enough of Tony Dungy, he let him pick the successor. And Coach Dungy walked away because he didn't want to leave the cover. He could have stayed on. He said, you know what? I'm going to step away from the game, leave you Peyton Manning still in his prime.
Yep.
So therefore, because a lot of times, Skip, guys step away. Hey, the quarterback's already gone. He don't have a chance to succeed.
Yep.
But I want to set you up for success. So that's the only time now I could be wrong. I was thinking about Oakland, Skip, with Flores and Shell, but Mike Shanahan was in between those. So that was not the case. So I just think, Skip, this has a lot to do. Think about it, Skip. Now we got minorities replacing minorities. We've never had that before. One time in the 100-plus year history, we've seen it, and we've seen it twice in a day, in 2 days. This was all about the lawsuit. Congratulations to those guys. But this was about the lawsuit and being able to show how you going to take this to court, Skip? We just hired a minority. That replaced a minority. I do believe that there are more and there's no knock on Lovie. I do believe there are more qualified African Americans in the coaching profession that could have got this job. But hey, now they're saying, well, we went with a proven leader. Okay, I'm going to see. Now, I want you to have that same energy because you said something very similar to David Colley last year.
You did.
And he was up out of the job after 1 year. So I'm going to see how you still felt. Is he still the proven leader that you believed you hired? Congratulations to those guys, but I'm unmoved by this.
I appreciate everything you just said. Now, even more to your point, 2 black head coaches were fired after last season. Both shockingly so, and both, to me, unfairly so. And that was obviously Brian Flores in Miami and David Culley in Houston. And I don't think it was any coincidence, to all of your points, that those 2 franchises then turned right around and hired minority candidates, quote unquote, who were just as shocking hires as the fires were shocking, in that neither of them were even remotely on either team's radar as far as anything publicly reported, right?
Both of them were surprised. I got the job? I did?
Both were, weren't they both just out of the blue candidates that you didn't hear a peep about until they were suddenly high? What?
Yes.
Who's Mike McDaniel?
Exactly.
And we all know who Lovie is, but he had been a little out of sight, out of mind.
Right.
He was the associate head coach.
Right.
He was the DC, the defensive coordinator in Houston.
Yes.
And he obviously has a track record that's pretty great.
Yeah.
If you go back
his defense
to
is normally, he won a championship at the Rams. He was the linebackers coach under Coach Dungy. When it came to the defensive coordinator with the Rams. When they won it.
Okay. So let's start with the Houston Texans. So Brian Flores' lawyer immediately issued a statement upon the hiring, obviously, in Houston of Lovie, the elevation of Lovie, saying that Brian Flores was clearly passed over in Houston, and he was a high-profile candidate there. He'd been interviewed.
Right.
That it was simply because of the lawsuit that he was passed over. Well, I'll second that emotion.
Yes.
Yeah, you will too, right? Okay.
He had to have known that when he filed that. That's why you and I were both surprised. Well, hold on. He's still going through the phases of doing interviews. You mean to tell me you couldn't wait another week? Because if the lawsuit is legit, it's still going to have merit in 1 week, 3 weeks, or a month.
I buy that. I was pretty shocked by the timing of that.
Yes.
And yet, go one step further. In the lawsuit, Brian Flores dared to blow the whistle on Bill Belichick.
Yeah. You can get that job now.
He incriminated Bill Belichick by outing the text chain back and forth with Bill that indicated that the New York Football Giants had already decided on Brian Daboll 3 days before Brian Flores' official sit-down with the ownership and the top executives, right?
Right.
Bill Belichick is all-powerful. A lot of people think he's the GOAT coach. You don't cross him without some retribution, especially when the 2 guys in charge in Houston are both protégés, both came up in New England under Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Nick Caserio.
Yeah.
Easterby.
Yeah, you ain't finna cross my boys and think you're going to get a job with me.
You're not going to get a job. They're not going to do it. And then you kept making the great point. Josh McCown? Seriously? A high school football coach? And you're angling toward Josh McCown by all reports, all speculation, all reporting in the Houston area led to Josh McCown.
Yes.
Well, in the wake of this lawsuit, you can't do that.
That's the only thing that stopped him from hiring him.
Yeah, the look would be so bad. It would be so out of line. It would be so politically incorrect at that moment in time that it feels like it was almost a league initiative where the league got involved and said, you just can't do it.
Right.
Don't do it to us.
Right.
Don't do us to the 32 teams, to our image as a league, right? And so they went to plan B or C or D or whatever, and they elevated Lovie. Well, obviously, just to reiterate on Lovie's background, okay, so he was the Bears coach for 9 years, and he really broke through in 2005 because he was the NFL Coach of the Year. 2006 Super Bowl up against Coach Dungy and lost in the Super Bowl, but he had Rex Grossman at quarterback.
Correct.
So how great was it to get to the Super Bowl with Rex Grossman, right?
Yes.
So he goes 81-63, and I know back in my days on the other show, I defended him, and I did not think he deserved to be fired after 81-63. He was 3-3 in the playoffs at that point, but he was fired. He winds up going to Tampa, and it was a disaster because they were a mess, and it just sort of was predictable, and they went 2-14, and then they went 6-10, showed a little progress, but not enough. And that was it for Lovie.
When that was the year, didn't he drafted Jameis, didn't he?
I believe so.
I think he did.
Okay. Then he goes to Illinois, coaches college football, and it did not work out. He was there for 5 years, and it was 17-39, one bowl game that he lost. So not very good. But he's got a track record, and I know Lovie enough to tell you he's a natural-born leader. So you can't argue with
No.
Leadership
is probably a strong suit.
Okay. He is defensive-minded, so that they've never been an offensive juggernaut wherever he's been. The focus has always been on the defensive side of the
Bears,
ball. Okay, so you need somebody to run the offense. Who, you need one of these, whatever. But the shock of it was that it shattered the new mold, the new chic mold of boy wonder coaches. The Sean McVays and
getting the guys off the Shanahan trio to make Bay Tree.
Right, because Lovie's 63, he's let his beard grow out. Now he's literally gray bearded.
He looking like Santa Claus up in there.
He does. He could be a good Santa Claus. He's a good guy. He's a good man. So you can't question his credentials, obviously.
No.
All right, now we go to Mike McDaniel. You want to talk about bolt out of the blue? I'm saying, where did this come from? And I would like to get on the record with the fact that the people I know at the Fritz Pollard Alliance, who I've known for years, starting with our friend John Wooten, who's the past president, they oversee the Rooney Rule. John Wooten is still like the godfather of all the movement of black coaches because he is the conduit. He's the go-between. He is the initiator of a lot of contact of black candidates with white GMs or white owners.
With the teams.
John can get them on the phone and make the connection, open the door. John Wooten says that until he heard that Mike McDaniel had been hired, he had no idea that he was a minority candidate. He said, I just wasn't aware of him at all. So he was not in their pipeline whatsoever. And nobody, he says, at the Fritz Pollard knew anything about Mike McDaniel being what does he call? He identifies as multiracial. Okay, well, they don't know anything about that, so it's not like they're jumping for joy that Mike McDaniel got this job. Does that make sense?
It does make sense, Skip. It's kind of like a situation where if I'm going for a loan, if you don't know I'm black, I ain't gonna tell you until I show up, until you already approved me for the loan. And then when I show up, you're like, and that's probably what they're like, oh, Mike, okay, you black. It's too late. That's giving you the game of the job.
Okay, you're doing it reverse. But he's doing it. He got the job in part because he's multiracial.
I don't know if he disclosed that information beforehand.
Okay, well, did it help in this situation?
Because you look at it. I mean, when I looked at the guy, I was like, he multiracial? What?
I don't know.
No.
I've read all kinds of things, and I don't even want to speculate.
Skip, he was a young kid. One of our videographers, I don't want to get, but they dated his mom, so he was around.
Well, he introduced his mom to the videographer who then married his mom, right? At Denver. Okay.
So he was around. I'm like, and I was talking to one of my ex-teammates. He's like, man, you remember such and such? And I was like, I remember the kid, but I not thinking he's going to be a head coach in it. That's what I'm saying. You never know, Skip. You never know.
So he rode, as I told you yesterday, he rode that Shanahan train for years, 16 years. Mm-hmm. And I told you he was often the caboose of that train. He was kind of at the end of it.
Right.
But he rose up to finally, he had the title last year of offensive coordinator.
Right.
Help me out. Do you think he called one play the whole year? Absolutely not.
No, Kyle called all the plays.
Yeah. And Mike had some input.
Yeah.
Do you think he had much input in the game plans? It may be a suggestion here or there, but as you said yesterday, it better be a good one.
Yeah.
Right? But they're not going to listen.
Yeah, because I know how his dad was. You come up with a suggestion, it damn sure better work.
Okay. So how is Mike McDaniel qualified to run the Miami Dolphins? I have no idea. Maybe he'll be great. I don't know. But,
I hope so.
You want to talk about an X factor? That's an X factor of a hire.
Yes.
Where he has not even run a positional group, where he was overseeing the defense or the offense.
Right.
Nope, not at all. You got a title under a guy who runs it with an iron fist. Yeah. and by the way, Bobby Turner, do you know Bobby Turner?
Yeah, Bobby T came with me in 95 when Mike first got there.
Okay. Bobby Turner has been with the Shanahans in charge of the run game. He is sort of that brains of the operation.
Yes.
He's the running backs coach, but everybody has told me from the start that they really welcome his input to the run game.
Absolutely. If Bobby T says that guy can play, that guy's going to be on the team.
Okay, so my point is, I would favor Bobby Turner over Mike McDaniel as far as head coach quality and caliber.
Bobby T don't want to be a head coach.
Nope, I got it. Okay.
Never want. Okay. Like I said, Skip, I know Bobby T very well. Know his family, know his wife Kim, know his three daughters, know them all. He don't want to be a head coach.
Okay. And everybody tells me they have the highest respect for his football brain.
They absolutely do.
Okay. All right. So there we go. He gets a job, and Lovie is suddenly elevated to replace the two black coaches that were fired. Coincidence? I think not.
No.
Right?
No.
Okay.
I mean, now, Skip, with the lawsuit going forward, how does the lawsuit go forward? You say we don't hire minorities. We just hired two. You say that, well, they need to have great records, and if they don't have great records, they don't get a second chance. We just hired Lovie. He's the first African-American to be hired 3 times, the first minority to be hired 3 times.
Beautiful move. So it's a big touche.
So what about this lawsuit that you said was what was going on?
Yep.
Now, we also saw the situation in New Orleans. Dennis Allen got hired. We're not surprised by that.
No.
But 2 of the main ingredients for him getting hired, we wanted someone with previous experience, and we wanted to know someone to know the Saints culture. But damn, you excluded damn near all the rest of the coaches.
All of them.
I'm not saying they were the only ones. There were some other things. Skip, I want someone sexy and wealthy, but that's not the only thing that I'm looking for. Well, damn. Unless they blew us away. Well, you just told us the 2 most important things. You didn't have to say that. So now everybody's thinking that I went there. I didn't know anything about the culture. I wasn't a previous head coach. So hell, really, I had no chance. Dennis Allen was a previous head coach. Now, looking at his record, I don't know if he was 8-28.
I know. It wasn't good. Agreed.
He was, Skip, I know him. He was in Denver as the defensive coordinator.
You can make the case he's a much better defensive coordinator than a head coach.
Correct.
As a lot of people are. A lot of these people get elevated. They're not a natural-born leader of the group. They're not a CEO quality.
So maybe the second time around, Skip, maybe the second time around is going to be different. Because, Skip, I remember Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll was in the Jets. He was at the Patriots.
Yep.
Went back to USC. This is his 4th opportunity. Coach Belichick, he was in Cleveland as a head coach, had the Jets job for a day, resigned that. So maybe the second time around is better.
Now, I always tell you about Belichick. They missed the playoffs 4 of 5 years that he was in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yes. And so, Skip, I believe in giving guys second opportunity. I don't have no problem with that because sometimes, you don't really know what you don't know. It's a big step. I'm responsible for the defense. Nah, you're responsible for the offense, the defense, the special team, setting the practice schedule, when we going to leave, what time we're going to meet. You the CEO, you got to oversee that. Sometimes it's overwhelming. So I don't have a problem with Dennis Allen getting another opportunity. Okay. I don't really have a problem with these guys getting jobs. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend that lawsuit didn't have anything to do with this.
Yeah, I agree. It's called a class action lawsuit, which asked others to join in.
Yes.
I'm still afraid Brian Flores is on an island on this one. I'm not sure anybody's going to join.
And they just hold on. Your lawyer just said one of the reasons why you didn't get the job is because of this lawsuit. You try to get me up out my job if I join that lawsuit? Hey, I got kids. They go to school. I got a wife that's not working that I got to take care of.
Exactly.
You're not finna get me up out this job. I'm telling you, that's how they thinking, Skip.
That's how they're thinking.
Oh, it's frustrating. Good stuff, guys. Good discussion there. I want to switch gears back to the Super Bowl as we look ahead, just a couple days away. And Joe Burrow, he really has been anything but an average Joe in his second season only with the Bengals. The former #1 overall picks flair for showing up in clutch situations reared its head, and since he's come back in the AFC Championship game, and now he'll look to add the title of Super Bowl champion to his resume. That also features a Heisman Trophy and a college national championship at LSU. So, Shannon, scale of 1 to 10, how much do you trust Burrow to have a big game, the biggest?
I'm going to give it a 3, Skip, because here's the thing. We're looking at a big game because we've seen big games from this kid. 525, 446, 432. So we've seen big games. Mm-hmm. Do I believe he'll have one of those games? No. Because, Skip, if you look at him in the playoffs, he scored 26 points against Vegas. He had 244 and 2 touchdowns. In Tennessee, he had 19 points. He had 348, 0 touchdowns and interception. Against Kansas City, he scored 27 points, 252 touchdowns and interception. So he hadn't had one of these off-the-chart type games like what we've seen Matthew Stafford have. Mm-hmm. Skip, Patrick Mahomes has thrown for 12 touchdowns in 3 games. He's out of the playoffs. Next closest, I think, is Matthew Stafford has 8. So we've seen guys have big games, but that doesn't mean he needs a big game in order for them to win. Okay. Because what we've seen, they're in the Super Bowl, and he hasn't had one of those games, Skip, that we know he can have. Yep. A 525 against Baltimore, a 440-something against Baltimore, a 442 against Kansas City. So we know he's capable of having these type games, but I believe the defensive line, because I don't believe you can score 19 points and beat this team. Here's the thing. Kansas City's offense and their defense is vastly different because I think he played Tennessee. Tennessee's defense is outstanding. The offense leaves a lot to be desired. This is I believe, the most complete team when you look at offense, defense, and special teams that they're going to face in the playoffs. But I also believe this might be the best offense that the Rams have faced. The Rams have faced in the playoffs. So, for me, Skip, I know you like Tampa, but when you look at Chase, and you look at Higgins, and you look at Boyd, and the way they can run the ball with Mixon and P. Ryan,
I'll buy that.
The offensive line leaves a lot to be desired. Mm-hmm. I think that's going to pose a problem for him, Skip. But I just believe the defensive line is going to dictate a lot in this game, and I don't believe you can win this game getting sacked nine times because that means you get sacked 9 times, even if you don't turn it over, Skip. That means the Rams are going to have excellent field position. And with that offense, they're going to score more than 19 points. So for me, I'm going to give it a 3 that he has a big game. I consider a big game 350, 3 touchdowns, and up. Do I believe he'll have one of those type games? Yep. I do not.
Okay.
But they still can win because we've seen him not have a big game, and they're in the big game.
That is correct. I'm going to go back to the operative word in this question. How much do you trust him to have a big game?
Right.
And I'm going to go all the way up to a 9 on a scale of 10. And I don't disagree with your point about the offensive line. We're going to get deeper into that later because it's a liability.
Yeah.
And it was at Tennessee and Nashville, and it didn't matter.
Right.
He overcame that. I'm going to say it again about this kid. He's still a kid. There's something about this kid that I really, really like.
Right.
It's some Brady-esque intangible where he will not lose his poise. He will not come unglued. He will not unravel right before your very eyes. He will not say no mas. He will not be physically defeated by the Rams front where he just finally goes up in smoke and says, I can't do this anymore. And we've seen that happen to a lot of different quarterbacks.
Yes.
In fact, I would say 80% of the quarterbacks that I watch have that, what I call that haywire gene in them. They'll just come apart if under fire.
Well, Skip, I mean, you think about 9 times. There are not very many quarterbacks in the history of the game. Hall of Famers, MVPs, historically transcendent great players that you can sack 9 times and they're able to win the game. Because you can break a lot of them, you hit them that many times.
So they're calling him Joe Burrow, as in ice in his veins, or he's dripping with ice. And I get all that, but it goes way deeper than that.
Yes.
It's something about this kid knows he was born to play this position, and he has supreme confidence in his ability to speed read it, find it, and hit it before you can hit him.
He said his dream was to play wide receiver. Say he don't think he could play wide receiver, but he okay at quarterback.
He played DB for a while.
Yeah, he's in that.
So he's got a little. I'm not saying he has a lot of athletic ability. We're not talking about Lamar or Michael Vick here,
or Kyler Murray.
No, or Kyler. But he's got a little bit of athletic ability. I think he was a pretty good basketball player, and you see it occasionally in his escapability. All right, let's look at what's happened. What's his history on the biggest of stages? We'll start out in high school, state championship game. Now, they lost the game, but it was a shootout. It was 56-42. In the state high school Ohio State championship game, he goes 26 of 45 for 446, 6 touchdowns, and 1 pick. All those are records for the state high school championship game.
Right.
Okay. So you can see that he's off to the races.
Right.
And then you know and I know what started happening at LSU. Now, were they loaded? They were absolutely loaded. But remember, it starts with the SEC championship game. I want you to digest these numbers. This is Georgia they're playing, and Georgia was pretty good. They're
Georgia's been good since Kirby got there, especially defensively.
Joe Burrow versus Georgia, 28 of 38, 349, 4 touchdowns, no picks, QBR 97. Against my Oklahoma Sooners. I actually went into that game. I remember sitting on my couch thinking, I think we got a shot here. We had no shot.
Yeah.
It was over in about a minute because Joe Burrow took it over. The final score was 63-28. He goes 29 of 39 for 493, 7 touchdowns and no picks, and ran for a touchdown. QBR of 99. Then Clemson national championship, 42 of 55 for, I'm sorry, the score is 42-35. He was 31 of 49 for 463, 5 touchdowns, no picks, and ran for a touchdown. So in those 3 games in a row to end his college career, he's got 16 touchdowns to no picks and an average QBR of 98. But I will give you this. In the championship game, Jamar Chase caught 9 for 221 and 2 touchdowns. And somebody named Justin Jefferson, you remember him? Oh, yeah, he's that guy up in Minnesota now. He caught 9 for only 106, but still 106. Clyde Edwards-Helaire caught 5 more for 54. Terrace Marshall, he was second-round pick Carolina. He caught 3 for 41 and a touchdown. And Randy Moss's kid caught 5 for 36 and 2 touchdowns. And he's on the Bengals IR practice squad. So he is a Bengal right now. Okay, so you can see, were they loaded? Yes, they were loaded. At Tennessee, 9 sacks and lived to tell about it. And they won the game because of his late throw to Jamar, right? That was big-time clutch throw.
If Tannehill doesn't play so bad. Skip, without those 3 turnovers, they're not even in the game.
They're not in the game.
Tannehill start the game with a turnover, start the second half with a turnover, and late the ball game turnover.
I told you sitting in this chair, once Tennessee secured home field, I said, that's it. Tennessee's going to the Super Bowl. Because Vrabel can flat out coach it. And they look like a team to me, albeit with the quarterback who can be the big X factor. Right. But they just look like a team that could play defense and run it and win 2 home games to the Super Bowl.
He's good. Skip, here's the thing. You can't out-coach your quarterback playing bad.
You can't.
Because you can't hide him.
You can't hide him. Now, they say they're going forward with Ryan Tannehill. Well, good luck with that, because he was a receiver in college. That's all I got to tell you. And I've never liked him. And I didn't like him going into that draft. Okay. But the point was, Joe Burrow lived to tell about that game because he made one throw and Tannehill threw it to you one time late. And then at Kansas City, that's miraculous what you pulled off. Right. Because you can say, you didn't play that well, but when it was time to play well, you made all the throws and all the runs, all the escapes that you needed to make to win 27-24, right?
Yes.
Okay, so do I trust him on Sunday at SoFi? It's a home game for the Rams, so to speak. It's their home stadium. I do. I'm at a 9. I think he will play as well as he can play. Right. I think he will transcend. I think he'll rise above. Right. Again, will they be able to protect him? Probably not great for the whole game. Will he escape when he has to? I believe he will. That's why it's only because of him I'm giving them a shot in this game.
Let me ask you, so do I trust him? I trust him, but do you trust him to have a big game? What type of numbers are we thinking? You thinking
300.
Okay.
300 would be a big game. And
not
again,
for him.
Huh?
Not for him.
Well, in this game against that defense, 300?
Skip, we saw the man throw for 525.
I know, against Kansas City, which I don't think...
Against the Ravens. The Ravens.
Yeah.
I know they're beat up, but they're still the Ravens. They still have pride.
They have pride.
And then he followed it up. He threw with the first time, and that's when Wink Martindale, he threw for like 440-something, and Wink Martindale said, well, we're not going to give him no gold jacket, and then he goes throw for 525 against you. Well, you better get him a gold jacket.
Well, you can argue he cost Wink his job.
Yes.
Correct?
And then, so we've seen him, and then against Kansas City, Skip, he was 30 or 38 for 442 and 4 touchdowns? He was sensational. So what we know him to have, what we consider a big game for a lot of quarterbacks. I mean, 300 game for an average quarterback, that's okay. But for Joe Burrow, we like, man, we done saw you throw the third most yards, the fourth most yards in NFL history.
Okay, but against the Rams defense in their stadium,
300 might be.
I assume the crowd will be pro-Rams, but you never know.
You never know.
The Super Bowl,
I don't know, Skip, but Cincinnati don't really travel like that now. I mean,
but sometimes the Super Bowl is just an amalgamation of people from everywhere. It's corporate people.
That's mainly what it is.
And they just sort of cheer for everything.
Because they're the ones that can afford the seats.
That is correct.
The common fan got priced out of this one.
Right. It doesn't ever get loud enough to disrupt your signal calling. Right?
No, you got 20,000 fans for you. You got 20,000 fans for them. And the other 50 so drunk, they don't even know what's going on.
That is correct. I still say he'll play at a very high level and give his team a chance to win this game. Well, so that's all I trust.
Well, we know he won't be in all the moment because we've seen him in big moments, SEC championship game, which is his bigger game. Next to the national championship game, Skip, I'm not sure there's a bigger game. The Big Ten, that's no knock on... But what the SEC championship
when they played Georgia in Atlanta.
Or you play Alabama.
Yeah.
Skip, you remember what he did to Alabama? He went to Alabama and did that.
Torched them. He did. Georgia was ranked 4th before the SEC championship.
Alabama was ranked number 1.
They were.
And he went down to Alabama and did that.
He did that. He did it to everybody.
Yeah, so I'm not worried about the moment being too big for it. But Aaron Donald and Vaughn and Leonard Floyd and those guys will have a say in this matter.
What if the moment gets a little too big for Matthew Stafford?
No. Old Matty Ice. Got that 2 Matty Ices.
There's only one Matty Ice. And he won the MVP.
Well, they used to be, these Matty Ices used to be neighbors. They used to live next to each other. I don't know if he still have a place in Atlanta. But Matty Ice of Atlanta and Matty Ice of now the Rams, they're neighbors. They're good friends, Skip.
Good for them. Congratulations.
Yeah, he's Matthew, though. Matthew Ice, it doesn't have the same ring to it.
Yeah, he's Matthew Ice.
Matthew Ice.
No mercy.
February 20th, it's the most iconic day in all of motorsports. The Daytona 500, the great American race, kicks off the 2022 NASCAR season only on Fox and the Fox Sports app. So, guys, Alvin Kamara is facing battery charges for an incident that happened this weekend in Las Vegas before the Pro Bowl. The police report says there is video surveillance that supports the allegations against the Saints running back. Kamara was booked after the Pro Bowl on Sunday, but was then later released on bail. So, Shannon, what's your thoughts on what happened here?
Well, it's really disappointing. I'm really disappointed, and I really hate when guys put themselves in this position. It's being reported that this incident happened at 6:30 a.m. in the morning, and it's going to change. It changed 2 people's lives forever. The young man that was the victim of this, and if these reports are true, it changed Alvin Kamara's life. He's going to get suspended if this is true. He's going to get sued if this is true. And I'm just trying to figure out.
He could do some jail time.
Oh, absolutely.
They say it's 1 to 5 years.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm trying to figure out, knocked the man unconscious, fractured his orbital. It's been reported that Kamara punched the man 8 times, 3 others in the group, stomping the man in his face, chest, and legs, and one person in the group stomped the man 16 times. You could have killed him. You could have killed him, and then what? Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. I really apologize to him. Think about that. Sometimes I don't think people think about the flip side. If that had been you, if somebody had done that to you, and I'm trying to figure out what. What was it? Did he say something to your girl?
It sounded like that had potential. Go ahead.
But to go to this extreme, come on, bro, don't be disrespectful. That's my lady. That's all you got to do. Guys normally, most of the time, he's like, hey, bro, that's me. Guys let it go. Nobody try to really get no confrontation, no situation like that. But for what? But see, you get with a bunch of you guys, you drink a little alcohol, you feeling good, and this got out of hand. This should have never happened. I'm disappointed that guys put themselves in this situation, because I believe this was a totally avoidable situation. And Alvin put himself, if the reports are true, and the police says, they have video evidence supporting the allegations, I just hate that Alvin put himself in this position, because I believe this was an avoidable situation. Yep. And they could have killed this man. And then there was not enough apologies and not enough I'm sorries that could bring it back to undo what would have been done. So I can't even say fortunately the guy survived and everything's okay, because I believe this incident should have never happened.
I appreciate what you just said. I've been saying on national TV for 20 years that a nightclub or bar, any of that sort of circumstance, especially after midnight, for a star athlete, even any professional athlete or college for that matter, can be even more dangerous to me than skydiving or bungee jumping or motorcycle riding or whatever you want to throw in there. Because all the elements are thrown in that can go so wrong. Right. Because alcohol is going to be involved. Sometimes drugs are involved. Sometimes firearms are involved. Sometimes knives are involved. But if you have males and females, all of a sudden it can just detonate. Yeah. When you least expect it, it can just fly off the handle and really bad things can go wrong. And I don't want to be a stick in the mud, but I've always said that it's not worth the risk. And I get it. Alvin Kamara's at the Pro Bowl, and he's got his
boys with him.
Yeah, they're there. And maybe his girl's with him. I don't exactly know how that was shaping up. But the point is,
it like they're getting off the elevator or getting on the elevator?
To get on, and the victim tried to get on, and Alvin stiff-armed him. Yeah. No. And then one thing led to another, and here we went.
Skip, I do that all the time. I go places and I'm on the elevator, and all of a sudden a lady will come get on the elevator. I get off. She's like, "No, you can rise." And no, I'm good. I just get Skip. I'm not trying to prevent somebody from getting on the elevator.
Now I do it because of the pandemic. But go ahead.
Yeah, but I'm saying, Skip, I get it, and I get it. A lot of times, me and the guys, hey, you want to crowd up in? You want to crowd up in here? Okay, so be it.
I got it. Look, I don't begrudge Alvin. He's at the Pro Bowl. He's a star. He's become the face of that franchise,
he is,
right?
Absolutely. Yeah, without Breeze, yes. Okay. Yeah.
He is really talented. And he actually had a pretty good Pro Bowl. Yeah. And yet, this is 6:30 in the morning on Saturday night leading into the Pro Bowl. And I'm sure they had a good time. And you can have a good time. And you want to be, you know how it feels. You want to be Alvin Kamara out and about. Right. It's a club. Yeah. It's where our man Lil Wayne plays. He's got a gig there that he plays, I think, once a month on Saturday nights. Okay. He'll start at midnight and play to 1:30. Well, and then he goes right out the back door and gets on his jet and comes back to L.A. Right. But the point is, it's what do you call it, a resonance.
Right, yep.
But the point is, it's just not worth the risk because you might have just changed your life permanently, like you say. And I'm talking about Kamara, let alone the victim. Yeah. And I hope he's going to be okay. Right. At least he survived. Like you said, you could have died.
You could have killed a man.
Yeah. Especially on concrete floors. Yeah. We saw what happened at the Rams-49ers game. Right. The guy got punched and falls back and hits his head on the concrete, and you're in a medically induced coma. Right. Okay. It's just too dangerous to risk your whole career. Everything could just go up in smoke in one moment that you look back on. You'll look back in 10, 15 years and say, what was I thinking? Right. Was that worth it?
And if he said something, all you got to do is say, but bro, my man, that's my girl. That's my lady. Don't be disrespectful. That's how you handle it, Skip. I mean, I get it.
Okay, but remember, if you go out and have a couple of drinks, are you thinking straight at that point?
No,
maybe not.
No, but like I said, for the most part, look, I get it. Guys, sometimes, the Aaron Donald situation, he said it was Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald was actually trying to break the situation up. But, and sometimes guys will try an athlete. Oh, you're not that big.
That's what I'm saying. There are a lot of wannabes.
Yeah. I'm not. Bro, come on. It's not that serious. It's not that serious. I mean, sometimes he has a girl and she's looking at us. I mean, you know, she's trying to choose me.
Yeah.
But you with her. You good? Bro, I don't want no problem, bro. I'm just here to have, me and my boys here, we going to have a good time, bro. I ain't all about that. Just, hey, let me buy you a drink. And, that, you know, just keep it moving. Skip, I'm just trying to, I don't want no confrontation. I ain't trying to fight nobody. But like I said, I just hate that.
You know how it goes.
Yes, I just hate that he put himself in a situation that this could have possibly happened.
Do you know how many similar incidents I've dealt with over 20 years? It's like one after another, and I think, will they ever learn? But they don't. Yeah. Because the gravitational pull of going to the club and sort of flaunting your stardom, it's.
And that's how they look at it. Skip, all I'm doing is that, look, I'm a professional athlete. I'm wealthy. I shouldn't have to hide my success. So if I want to drip, let me drip. If I want to have on Versace, if I want to have on LV, let me have that on. That's not a knock on you. But let me be me. And a lot of times, you know, people get jealous of things of that.
They do.
And the moment I feel uncomfortable, Skip, when we first got to Baltimore, it was me, Sugar, Ray Lewis, and a dude named Corey Harris.
Yep.
And we went to the club. I had just got to Baltimore around like 3 months. I ain't had never been there. Like, hey, Shay, come on, go with it. We went. Man, it's like, hey, that's Shannon Sharpe. That's Ray Lewis. That's it. Man, dude say, F Ray Lewis. You right. Let go. Hey, let go. Not good enough for me. Because I already see what his head is, Skip. Let me go ahead and cut this off in the path. Let me go ahead and cut this out. Let go. We don't need to be here. We go somewhere else.
It's just not worth it.
It's not even worth it, Skip.
Yeah.
It ain't worth it. I ain't trying to give up no money for fighting somebody and somebody getting hurt and injured. Yeah, now I don't want nobody to give my family no bad news, and I ain't trying to give nobody else family no bad news.
Yeah.
But I just hate Alvin put himself in this situation because I do believe this was an avoidable situation, and it's your boys. They there to make sure you don't get in no mess like this.
No.
What good of you? What good of you if I'm the attraction? You got to make sure I don't get away. Hey, come on, hey, Al, let's go, man. Come on, Shay. Come on, Shay.
This was, we got your back. We'll stomp him.
Nah. You got my back. You get me up out of there.
Exactly.
That's having my back. Get me up out of there.
You know what I've always been about? Private parties. Just have it up in your suite.
Yeah.
Invite a bunch of people that you know up there, some of the other players and their significants or wives.
Yeah.
Let's have a party. Okay, that'll work, but...
Let's get. I mean, if I'm only inviting people that know, I can't show this drip I got.
Nope, you can't show it.
I didn't see all the drip.
Well said.
I got to see all my drip. You got to see that.
I got it.
You got to get my, like, I'm not thinking about getting my ears pierced, Jenny. Give me about...
Seriously?
About 10 cash.
Like right now? That's really...
That earpiece is quite...
It's never too late.
Yeah, you know, I give me some of them old Garnets, one of them old Shield night pieces.
I need to see that. I need some piercings. That would be a good look for you, Shannon.
Need a welder's mask to look at that thing. That thing's so big and bright.
Okay. Guys, thank you for sharing your thoughts. It's unfortunate for all involved, and we're going to leave it at that for now.
No mercy.
Well, Odell Beckham Jr. has been exactly what the Rams needed. On a prove-it deal since joining the team mid-season, OBJ has been instrumental in LA's run to the Super Bowl. He's also now set to become a free agent in the offseason, where he'll inevitably get a big offer. Good timing for OBJ. Shannon, will Odell be a Ram next year?
Yeah. No. He don't be no Ram next year. Hell no.
Not next year?
He done paid himself into a big payday. The Rams going to be projected to be over the cap, have the 6th worst cap situation in the NFL, only have 46 players under contract, which would be the 6th fewest. Odell, I believe, Skip, has played himself into a big contract, somewhere around probably $11 to $15 million. I think that's what's going to be the going market. Devontae Adams, I don't believe he sees the open market. They're going to franchise him. Mike Williams, I believe the Chargers get that going because Justin Herbert, he's still on that rookie deal, Skip. You want to still surround him with young talent. Mike Williams is good. Chris Godwin coming off an ACL. Allen Robinson coming off a down year, didn't have over 70 yards in any game this season. Michael Gallup coming off an ACL. So of the guys that's going into the market that's healthy, OBJ. Money.
Well, wait a second. Aren't you
money?
Aren't you underpaying him?
What?
Would you say 11 to
$15 million?
Well, what about $30 million?
Stop.
Well, why not?
It's
Odell Beckham Jr.
If you take Odell production just in the playoffs, Project that over 17 games. You look at 108 catches, 1,337 yards, which projects to somewhere around $15 million.
Projects to 30.
$15 million.
What did Antonio Brown get from the Oakland Raiders?
He got 2 years guaranteed at $30 million, which is $15 million per year. My math, I ain't really good at math. Timetables kind of stumped me up in the third grade, so I ain't good at math, but I think 30 in the 2 years to 15. Odell Beckham Jr. leads all. Jenny, what does all mean? I ain't talking about the detergent. What does all mean? Odell Beckham leads all wide receivers in catch percentage in the playoffs. 83%.
Unbelievable.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay, then.
Who's the best receiver on the Rams?
Cooper Kupp.
Well, you just immediately dismissed Odell?
There you go.
He's superstar. He's got 15 million followers on Instagram.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I want you to name the receiver in NFL history that's had 175 plus catches, 2,100 yards in a given season. I'll wait. Cooper Kupp, that's it. Whoop, there it is.
Okay. At a combine, in a vacuum, you want Odell or Cooper Kupp?
I know a lot of guys.
It's like laughable. You'd take Odell.
Mike Mamula was at the combine.
Yeah.
You see what they call Philly?
Mike Mamula couldn't play.
Yeah, but he could at the combine.
Cooper Kupp
at the combine.
play.
There you go. See what you did? You base everything off the combine. What can he do on the football field? I've seen Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp can play. Hold on. Why you talking about Cooper Kupp? This is my OBJ. OBJ's resurgence. That's what we talking about. Will he be a Ram next year? No, because he's played himself into a big payday. That's why they went for it this year. They're probably going to lose. They're going to lose Von Miller also. They're going to lose a couple of other guys. But they're going to get that ring.
Okay. Is OBJ better than Cooper Kupp? I don't care about numbers. I care who's better.
No, he's not better than Cooper Kupp.
Really?
There's a lot of guys not better than Cooper Kupp. Wow. If this season, Devontae Adams isn't better than Cooper Kupp in 2021, Devontae Adams was not better than Cooper Kupp.
I'll take Devontae any day
Take it wherever you want to.
over Cooper Kupp, and you would too.
Let me ask you a question. Devontae Adams ever had a season like this?
He is it, and Matt Stafford loves him.
Yeah, he loves Cooper Kupp.
He's going to throw him the sugar at any cost.
And guess
at
what
any
happened?
moment.
I remember against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, my cup runneth over with catches and yards.
My cup made me sick.
And guess what? Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp made your guy retire. Now he want to unretire. We're going to retire him again. Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford said, come on back. We give you some more. We got more for you. Done beat you twice, Skip. How many times they got to beat you?
So Robert Woods, I'm guessing, is going to come back next year. And you know what? I'm going to go on the record. He's better than Odell Beckham Jr.
He not.
He just is better. I'm sorry, he is.
Well, Odell going to show you. Odell going to go to a situation, and this is what I hope he does. Look, I want him to get as much money as he possibly can, but I want him to go to a situation that they have a quarterback because he sees you can make a lot of money in Cleveland with a quarterback that's a jackleg that's making commercials, and you're not going to look very well, or you can go somewhere, take you a little less money, get your quarterback and get you the ball, and you're going to shine like a diamond, like Riri say, shine bright like a diamond. That's what Odell be doing right now.
Right now, he's shining in the shadow of Cooper Kupp because he gets single coverage everywhere he goes.
Yeah. See,
and all of a sudden, guess what? He's open. And all of a sudden, Matt Stafford's starting to trust that, wait a second, they got 3 guys on number 10 over here. On number 3, they got 1 guy. I think I'll throw it to number 3.
But guess what, Skip? That doesn't matter. You see what happens? If you drop crumbs on the floor, you'll have rats and roaches. They not eating a big piece of the pie. They not eating the kitchen, but the crumbs are there. So Odell only getting 6-7 catches a game. He ain't getting 11-12 that Cooper Kupp. He gonna parlay that into 15 mil. Is the idea that?
Here's the biggest question right here, right now. Is Odell both mentally and physically a number 1 receiver?
Yes.
That's a big no.
Yes, it's a big fat yes. It's a Y-E big-ish yes.
And you know what?
Stop it. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
You know, I am proud of myself because I'm telling you the God's truth right here, right now. Trust me on this. Odell does not believe he's anymore a number 1, and he is in football heaven right now in Hollywood, where he has a home in Beverly Hills, getting to play number 2 and loving it to Cooper Kupp.
You know what, Skip? I'm going to give Odell my pen. You know, this is my Superman pen. My brother gave me this pen 30 years ago. I'm going to give it to Odell because he's going to be Superman on Sunday.
Is he?
Yeah, after he do Superman thing, I think I'm going to go and get his pen to Odell.
Okay, here's what's going to happen next year. Back to Jenny's
What's going to happen?
he's going to be a Los Angeles Ram because this is Valhalla for him. He has found it. He will take that same incentive-laced deal for about $5 million. Watch.
I done
Just
proved
watch.
it. I done
Just
proved
watch.
it.
No, he will have to prove it again because they're not going to have any money for him. He'll get his $5 million.
Didn't I just tell you he's leaving?
And you know what? He's going to make it off the field because he's in Hollywood.
No.
And he does not want to leave Hollywood, and he does not want to leave the shadow of one Cooper Kupp. He does not want to leave a Matthew Stafford who is suddenly falling almost as in love with Odell as he has been with Cooper Kupp.
You got a problem with that. It seems like you got a problem with that.
I don't have any problem with that. I'm just telling you what's going to happen. I said it here first. He will not leave the confines of Hollywood.
Odell done played himself.
Want to bet?
Odell done played himself in the hearts and minds of Rams fans everywhere.
How many cases would you like to bet right now? Yeah.
For what?
That he stays a Ram. I say he stays a Ram. He'll be a Ram next year. Want to bet?
2 cases.
2 cases done. Thank you. This is a Shaq
OBJ
Barrett
go get
special.
that money. 15 mil.
This is you bet me 5 cases. Shaq Barrett's gone. He's going to get the bag. No, he's not.
And
he's going to stay with the GOAT.
Guess what? He should have went to Cincinnati because that's where he was going. And look where he would have been. He had a chance to be back-to-back champs, Jack. And now he home. Now he home.
Yep.
You see what happens? Sometimes a man can make his destiny on the very road he took to avoid it.
He's home because somebody didn't blitz when they were supposed to blitz.
Because somebody played bad for 3 quarters. Had Cam Akers not had oil on his hands.
27 all. That's what it was.
How many times you gonna fumble? Gave y'all 4 turnovers and beat you. That's how bad old Matty Stafford is. Gave you 4 turnovers and beat the brakes off you in your building.
He beat the brakes off as 30-27. You like that?
Yeah, I love
That's
that.
beating the brakes off.
He gave you 4 turnovers.
Yep.
Without the 4 turnovers, they beat you 45-10.
Thomas Edwards Patrick Brady Jr. threw for 125 in the fourth quarter and had you on the ropes.
Let me ask you a question. Did he throw for more than Matthew Stafford? Matthew
in
Stafford
the fourth quarter, yes.
Matthew Stafford done beat you twice. How many times does the man... Look here. You ain't got to beat me no 3-4 times before I know you better than me. The man done beat you twice. He beat you at his place, beat you at my place.
He beat you with a decoy route. Congratulations.
What did he do to y'all here at the Rams?
Decoy.
At the Rams, what did he do? What
did Arizona do to the Rams out here?
I don't know. I ain't talking about them. I'm talking about your guy.
Okay.
When he threw for 432 yards empty calorie. He was that impressed. He was Prescottian.
I think it was the biggest regulation passing yards of the year, right?
At that time.
Yeah.
But he was Prescottian. You know your
Don't
guy.
do that.
Yes.
You're going to get struck by
your
lightning.
Your guy was Prescottian.
Yeah.
So we beat you at our place, beat you at your place.
Yeah.
Is there any other place you'd like me to beat you at?
My guy should have been the MVP, and my guy is coming back.
Yeah.
Coming back.
How many minutes
To haunt you, just to get you.
So now
It's all
back.
because of you.
Like the shortest
that's the shortest retirement in the history of retirement, Jenny.
Remember when you cried?
Another
Shannon?
record for the GOAT.
You're not going to cry
4 days.
next time.
Yeah.
The tears have dried up over there.
No mercy.
Well, according to a new report, the Blazers are finalizing a deal to send C.J. McCollum to the Pelicans in exchange for Josh Hart and some other players and draft picks. This comes on the heels of Portland sending Norman Powell and Robert Covington to the Clippers last weekend, leaving many fans in the Pacific Northwest thinking that the franchise is entering full rebuild mode at this point. So, Shannon, what does this mean for Damian Lillard?
He next. He on deck, Skip. You know baseball, you on deck.
Yep.
They traded CJ, and first of all, they just traded Norman Powell and Covington for Keon Johnson, Eric Bledsoe, Justice Winslow, and now they traded CJ for Josh Hart, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Thomas Satoransky. Basically, Josh Hart, of all the guys that they got traded for, Josh Hart the best guy. The rest of these guys are spare parts. Dame Lillard is a Rolls Royce, and he needed some repairs, and they gave him spare parts. Fiat, Festiva. It's over. People have been trying to tell Dame this. Dame stand loyal to the soil. Okay, this it, Dame. This what you're stuck with. I'm going to see how long he can stomach being ninth. No, let me take that back. Let me see how long he can stomach being 13th, 14th in the West. Because that's what he's going to be. They're going to move on. They're in full rebuild mode. They've disassembled this thing brick by brick. It's over. Dame, this summer, bro, I hate to break it to you, bro. You next. Go ahead and find Hopefully, they can get you somewhere where you can go contend, but it's over. It is over.
Okay, I'm going to give you this. When my Clippers acquired Norman Powell and Robert Covington, I was like, you're kidding. Those are two sweet pieces to pick up.
They gave them away.
They gave them away. Except that Keon Johnson kid out of Tennessee, he's got potential to be pretty good. I'm hoping for Chauncey Billups' sake he's really good. Yet this time they get back Josh Hart. I like Josh Hart. He plays hard.
I like Josh Hart.
Okay.
He's 3-and-D player.
Okay. Nikhil Alexander-Walker can shoot it. He can shoot it. And I've always liked Satoransky, but I don't love him. He just knows how to play. They're spare parts. All three of them in the biggest picture, they're spare parts.
Yes.
They're not starters. They're just you could argue they could be quality backups.
Justice Winslow, Skip, he's never lived up.
And Bledsoe, I never loved him. I just never. Okay, so I got it. So the point is, CJ, if Zion can ever get on his feet again, and I have my doubts about it, I have my doubts. He's up somewhere in Portland trying to get right, lose some weight. I don't know. What I've seen from him, I don't like, I love.
Yeah.
You don't love it, but when he was right, he was dominant right.
Skip, we've had this conversation since the kid was coming out. What was my concerns about Zion? His size.
Just weight.
Yes.
His tonnage.
Skip, you can't be that big and play night in and night out with that explosive. We've never seen somebody this explosive.
No, we've never. And we've never seen anybody come down this hard on his knees and feet. Now he's got another problem. He's had one problem after another, and history would scream at you, it's just going to persist going forward. But CJ is just what the doctor ordered for Zion if he ever gets right.
Because I like him in BI.
Well,
that's nice.
I got it. But for CJ just to get crazy hot, taking the heat off Zion, shooting threes and jumpers, that'll work.
So what's Chauncey? What Chauncey supposed to do with this?
I don't know. I love Chauncey Billups. I believe in him. I think he could be all-time great, but you can't just mire him in the cellar and say, make miracles.
Yeah, you're not winning. I mean, it got off to a bad start because Dame had that issue. Seems to be he had it over at the Olympics. It never healed. No. And now CJ had the collapsed lung. So basically, without your two best players, you played the better part of your entire season without those two guys.
Yep.
And now you're going to move. Seem like, I don't know if Dame, this is another 4 weeks, maybe 6 weeks before Dame. And then Dame's like, okay, what am I coming back to? What am I coming back for? Man, let me get my butt healthy so somebody's going to be getting the best version of Dame Lillard in the 2022 season.
Okay. Are we starting to think about Dame straight up for Ben Simmons? Is that what we going there?
Hey. Ooh, man, Dame with Joel Embiid? Oh, Lord.
It would be I'll give you this. It would fit.
Yes.
Yeah, it would definitely
Can you imagine Dame and Joel Embiid in the pick and roll?
Mm-hmm.
Because Dame can get to the rim. He got a mid-range. He can shoot the three. Joel Embiid is out of his mind right now.
He is?
Okay. Yeah.
So could Portland rebuild around Ben Simmons? Maybe. Maybe that's the best thing left on the table. If, in fact, they just if the Sixers have decided we just have to do this now, we've had enough of this, then that would work.
Yeah, but I want some draft picks, too.
Yeah.
I want two draft picks. Unprotected draft picks plus Ben Simmons for Dame.
Do you really?
I want that. Give me that. You want Dame? Because I believe Dame's going to come back on Avengers. Because everybody writing about, because these young, you see, DeJounte Murray made the All-Star team, Skip.
Yeah.
LaMelo just got added to the All-Star team. The guards, John Morant, and Steph Curry, still Steph Curry, Chris Paul, Book, all these guys. And Dame said, hold on. Y'all must have forgot. Y'all think I'm just a rapper, huh? Y'all know I'm Dame Dollar. He coming back like this here, Skip. Yeah. With a G-Shock on. He gonna shock the conscience of the NBA. 2022. Dame Lillard to the Lakers, baby. Woo-hoo! It's over.
Where did that come from?
It came from, don't worry about where it come from. You about to see.
Which is it? To Philly or not?
You think I would have put him in Philly? No. I would have put him with the Lakers. See, Dame, you should have came. When LeBron come knocking, he's foretelling you things. Bron can see the future. He tried to tell you something that you could not see.
I still can't see it.
You can see it. Tried to get him to come on to L.A. Didn't Dame say he recruited? And now look at this.
Remember what happened last year, Game 6, Clippers versus Phoenix? Remember at what used to be Staples?
Yeah.
And LeBron goes across the street to the WNBA game.
That's what we do. We support our ladies.
You support your ladies.
That's
Way
right.
to go. And you take Dame with you because you know that's going to upstage Chris Paul, one of your closest friends, playing Game 6. And by the way, Chris Paul had a game for the ages.
Could I ask you a question? How can little old me? I'm in shorts. I'm in jeans. I'm at a game. How that upstage?
And Dame just happened to show up.
Yeah.
He had no idea LeBron was going to be there because Dame wanted to go to the WNBA game also.
Yes.
Not the Game 6 featuring Clippers.
Yeah,
Look,
we've shown our gratitude. We've gone to Melo's game when LeBron was early in his career. He showed up at Melo's game. He supported D Wade. So don't do that, Skip.
Okay, well, what I'm going to do right now is it would work for me to go straight up Ben Simmons for Dame because Ben Simmons is as valuable as Damian Lillard is.
We'll trade you Russell Westbrook, Horton Tucker, our first round pick in 2027 that's unprotected, and $25 million for Dame.
What? What do you want Portland to do? Dissolve? Do you want them just to file bankruptcy?
As a matter of fact, they dissolved it right before our eyes. Did you see what they just did? They just basically gave CJ away.
Yeah. Well,
they gave Norman.
But whoever takes Russ, that's like the kiss of death, right? That's the end. You're done.
Skip. They just gave Covington and Norman Powell away for some Tic Tacs and a stripe of Juicy Fruit gum. But Fruit Stripe.
Yeah, I don't think Keon Johnson's Fruit Stripe gum. I do remember.
You saw Norman Powell hit 28 off the muscle. Come off the bench and drop 28.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
So is Covington. That's why I told you. If Kawhi happens to decide I'm going to come back, you're in trouble.
You know good well.
This league is in trouble.
Can I ask you a question?
If they come back with Paul George and Kawhi, you are in trouble.
I just want to ask you one thing. When has Kawhi Leonard ever returned early from an injury? Name the one injury that Kawhi was supposed to be out 6 weeks and returned in 4. He was supposed to be out 2 months and returned in 6 weeks. Name the time, name the injury.
He played last year after he tore his ACL thanks to Joe Ingles against Utah.
Oh!
He kept playing in the game. He stayed in the game. He shot free throws.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
That required guts and courage. And
I remember a guy had a high ankle sprain. You told me he didn't look that hurt to me. He hit a 3. Did you see him run off the court?
He did.
Okay. I saw Kawhi Leonard, so he could have continued to play.
LeBron was gone for like 12 weeks after that. I'm like, what? He took a vacation.
All I know is I know a guy had an ACL injury, came back and won the MVP. Adrian Peterson. Adrian Peterson with a complete tear. And PCL.
Tom Brady had a torn MCL and won the championship in a pandemic.
Are we sure he's hurt?
Yep.
Are we sure?
We got it fixed.
How you know we got it fixed?
Dr. Elatrage. He came out here and got it fixed by Dr. Elatrage, Neil Elatrage.
And LeBron James had swelling in his knee.
Yeah, that's what he said.
That's not what he said. Dr. Elatrage.
Yeah, I don't think he went to see Dr. Elatrage.
Put that compression thing on and squeeze that fluid out of there.
Yep.
And now he back. Go get Giannis the business tonight.
Okay, we got a case on it.
You remember?
You took the Lakers straight up.
No, 3.5 points. That's the line. Hey, you remember how Giannis talk about KD is the best?
Yep.
He's the bomb for the hit these fadeaways of the eye. Take that with you. Who the best? Who the best?
Give Chauncey Ben Simmons, and at least he's got something to deal with.
What's my name?
Yep.
He gonna ask Giannis when he hit him turnaround jumpers, what's my name?
LeBron
say my name, Goat James. What's my name? LeBron. You remember who was that? Floyd Patterson? When he called him by his government official name.
No, it wasn't Floyd Patterson.
What?
It was Ali. You're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't. Well, it was George Foreman.
No. When you called him, he wouldn't call him by his real name. He wouldn't call him Muhammad Ali. He called him by his government.
Shoot, it was. I'll get.
But he's like, boop boop.
No,
what's my name?
It wasn't Floyd.
Boop, boop. What's my name?
Yeah.
That's what LeBron going to be doing. Dunking on him. Hitting turnaround jumpers. What's my name? LeBron James. Here come another one. What's my name? LeBron James. Then the next time when he dunk on his head, Goat James. Okay then.
Okay, I got Milwaukee straight up for 2 cases right now. Right now. Right here, right now. You're talking big, bad talk. You got the GOAT. That's what you tell me.
You
got the GOAT.
I'll take if Russell Westbrook plays less than 25 minutes, I'll take the Lakers for two cases.
Well, he's played the most minutes in the league.
No, but I need
stuck with it.
I need Frankie V to minimize those. 25 minutes for 2 cases
minutes or less.
Yeah, for 2 cases.
I just don't think he'll play less than 25 minutes. Have some guts. It's about the king. That's what you said.
No, dude, man, you can't. Kevin Durant couldn't overcome that. You told me Kevin Durant was been the best player for like a decade.
Okay, but if he plays over 25 minutes, the bet's just off,
yes.
Right? Okay, I'll take it because maybe I got a shot.
Okay.
Maybe he'll get in foul trouble.
Yeah? You're going to take it?
25. Oh, the GOAT. GOAT gonna have a big number. You know what GOAT do against Giannis?
No mercy.
With the trade deadline just 2 days away at this point, rumors have swirled around the Lakers looking into trading Russell Westbrook. An anonymous NBA exec recently came out and said it'd be, quote, near impossible to move the All-Star guard. Russ is making $44 million with a deal that also features a player option. So, Shannon, can you see the Lakers actually trading Russ by Thursday's deadline? It's fast approaching.
No. I just don't see how they do it, Skip. I just don't. With that kind of money still owed on this contract, on the $44 million plus the $47 million next year, Skip, I believe trades should be treated like homes. When you purchase a home, what should you automatically think? Resale. If I got to get up off it. Skip, what good is it to buy a $250 million home? There ain't but like 5 people in the world that can afford a $250 million or gonna want a $250 million home. When you take a player like Russ Westbrook, if I want to get up off him, who gonna want him? I get Anthony Davis. Guess what? If I wanted to move Anthony Davis, which I don't, 25 other teams will say, okay, what is it going to take for us to get Anthony Davis? The Lakers got the one guy that only they wanted. It's like, Skip, it's like buying a car and you put the one and only Skip Bayless in the headrest. Well, you better find another dude named Skip Bayless that want to buy it. Well, you better find another team that want a guy like a Russell Westbrook that's inefficient, that doesn't play any defense, that's terrible shooter, that turns the ball over. Okay, what other championship contending team want that? Because that's what you want when you signed it. You said you were, with LeBron James and Anthony Davis, you said you are a championship contending team.
They did.
You take on what Russell Westbrook. What other championship contending team want him? So we stuck like a song on repeat. And I ain't talking about a good song that I want to hear all the time. So that's where we are, Skip Bayless.
And LeBron James deserves how much blame for this?
No, about LeBron. We talking about Russ. We got a guy that we can't get up off of currently.
Who pushed for Russ? Who at least co-signed? Who at least blessed acquiring Russell Westbrook? LeBron James.
Skip, like I said, from a distance, you see Russ, you see how hard he plays. Because a lot of times, like everybody else, you pick up the stat sheet, you see 35, 12, and 10, you're like, good God Almighty. But then you look at you got to keep looking on over. Oh, he had 9 turnovers. Damn. Oh, his guy had 32 points. Oh. It took him 27 shots to get those 35 points.
By the way, my financial planner has always advised me, don't buy a house if you're thinking about resale because you can't time the market and get your money back on cue.
No.
Like if you buy a house, make it till death do you part. If that's what you want, if that's your dream house, buy it and sink your money into it and let it go.
But very few people, Skip, this is a new age. Your mom, my grandparents, the house that they first bought, they lived in that house, they died in that house. That's not the way people think now. They're going to have 1, 2, maybe even 3 homes.
Okay, well, good luck on timing the market because you can't.
No, Skip, it's not about timing. It's not about timing. Maybe it's a year, maybe it's 5 years, but I should be able to get, Skip, at what point in time are you going to be able to trade Russell Westbrook?
Okay. You're stuck.
Exactly.
But I told you, you got one safety valve. You got one way out of this.
What?
You got a little light at the end of a tunnel that goes all the way to Houston.
That's a train.
Houston, Texas.
No.
Houston, Texas.
Nope.
John Wall reportedly is available. You got to throw in your, 2027 draft choice? It's ridiculously far out there. Throw it in. Take his money because he is way less of a liability than Russell Westbrook.
We haven't seen him play but like 20 games in 3 years.
Thank you. That's why you acquire him, because you can get rid of Russ for him. He will be no problem for you. He'll have no ego coming in. He won't disrupt. He won't distract. He won't destroy you. Russell Westbrook is destroying your chances.
But, okay, Skip, I still got to go to work. Yes, the car that I have is a bucket. It's a jalopy, but it's operational. The other car that you want me to trade, the car that I got that's functioning for, I don't know if it's going to work.
You can put it in the garage and forget about
it. No.
Forget about it.
I got to get to work.
It's called addition by subtraction.
I got to get to work.
You have 2 luxury cars.
No.
You got the quote-unquote GOAT or phony GOAT.
Only pull them out.
Or you got AD, and you still got a Melo, and you still got an Austin Reeves, and you got a Malik Monk, and you got plenty going on.
No.
If just LeBron and AD are playing, and I know you got a way better chance than if that guy, number 0 rings, is playing.
We need him to come off the bench. He told us the other night the only thing that he cared about was winning.
He will never be happy coming off the bench.
I don't care about his happiness. What about you talk about one guy happiness or team happiness? Everybody can't be happy. Somebody got to be sad at some point in time.
He's a slam dunk first ballot Hall of Famer, and he will make waves the size of which you have never seen. He'll make tidal waves if you put him on the bench.
That's okay. I ain't going to put him on the bench. He coming off the bench. He going to play. He just not starting. Sometimes, Skip.
Good luck with that.
Sometimes, Skip, there have been a lot of times you've been upset, but Ernestine has been happy. Sometimes it's about other people's happiness more than your own.
I know, but you can't compare a marriage to a 5-man basketball
team. That's what this is, a marriage. This is about a relationship. This is about relationships.
Okay. Well, we're not talking about a menage a trois here, because that's what you got going on, right? Well, seriously, he doesn't fit. And I know.
I know he doesn't fit.
He disrupts the chemistry between the two who are married. The married couple is LeBron and AD. LeBron went out of his way to basically destroy the Pelicans and say, I got to have him. And Clutch Sports and Rich Paul.
Yeah, we had to have it. Got a title out of it, too.
Okay, we got a title. And you could at least get a playoffs out of it if you'd get him out of your way.
No.
He is ranking at the bottom of three-point shooters. He is right at the bottom of free throw shooters. Yeah. He leads the league in minutes played and in turnovers. That is a lethal combination for your Lakers. You got to get out from under. If John Wall would come, just say, we'll take it. It's called addition by subtraction.
No, Skip. First of all, we don't have any picks until 2027. I feel very comfortable in saying LeBron James will not be playing in 2027.
I don't think so.
Okay. Now, so AD should take the mantle. Okay. How do you put pieces around AD if you got no draft compensation?
You don't care. You maximize your chance right here, right now. What have you done for me today?
Well, we messed that up when we brought him on.
Okay. LeBron screwed you up. He blew his own chances of winning this year by bringing that guy on. And I'm still convinced it had something to do with Bronny, because he's Bronny's favorite player.
It ain't got nothing to do with Bronny.
Yep.
This got to do that what we thought. Skip, it happens all the time. You wasn't always you've been married with Ernestine for 15 years?
I haven't been married I've been with her for almost 17.
Okay, you've been with her for 17 years. So in between, you've had that's the one. And then after 6 months, she not the one. Or she said he's the one. And after 3 months, he wasn't the one. We thought he was the one.
You did.
And after a couple of games,
that's correct.
He wasn't the one.
He wasn't the one. You got to cut your losses.
But unfortunately, like a relationship where you could just, okay, I'm gone, you gone, it doesn't work like that. So we kind of stuck with him.
Okay, so you're going to be stuck with him the rest of the year, and it will go from bad to worst.
No.
Yes.
We ain't not giving up that first pick, and we're not taking on John Wall.
2027, what do you care about?
I tell you what we'll do right now. Dame Lillard hurt. So we'll trade you Russ, Horton Tucker.
They're not going to take Russell.
And that's what
he makes 44 and 47.
That's less than what Dame. Look at Dame. We're going to take Dame up off your hands.
Off your hands.
Yeah, he want to be in Cali anyway. He don't know. He going to be close to Oak Town.
Okay, I got that he would want to do it. He'd love to do it. They are not going to do that. You know it, and I know it. What are they going to do with him? Be miserable?
They got a bunch of spare parts. We just add another one.
The ultimate spare part. He's He's the greatest spare part in the history of spare parts.
Oh, Skip, did you see what they just traded for? They just traded for a spark plug, a distributor cap.
Yep.
We finna give them a voltage regulator, so they good. Got the spare part. Go ahead. Make a car out of something.
Be miserable. Let the trade deadline pass and hang on to him.
Okay.
See what happens.
Who you think? Okay, I tell you what. This is what we do, Skip. You say they say Giannis is the best player. We'll trade you straight up. Give us Holiday. We'll give you Russ.
Why would they take him on? Why would they wreck their chemistry with him?
Because
nobody wants him.
If Giannis is the best player in the league, he should be able to make this thing work.
Well, that's what you said about LeBron, and he couldn't.
No. James Harden couldn't. No. Kevin Durant couldn't.
Okay, there you go. Thank you. Case closed. You're stuck.
We are.
John Wall is your only exit strategy.
We're not doing that trade.
Okay, watch.
No,
I feel like you just figured it out, Shannon. You're kind of in a sticky situation.
Yes, we are.
No mercy.
Getting back to this because we're already talking about Tom. Just a week after announcing he's stepping away from football, Brady has left the door open for a potential comeback. On his weekly podcast, the 44-year-old GOAT said, quote, "Never say never" when asked if he could return to football, adding, "I feel very good about my decision, but I don't know how I'll feel 6 months from now." So, Skip, what was your reaction when you first heard this early this morning? 2 a.m., you're about to run. What were you thinking?
I did hear this at 2 a.m. And my first thought was, he finally woke up and came to his senses.
Whatever.
It's what I kept saying all last week. He might have had his greatest season ever, and he came off that completely healthy as you could ever hope to be at age 44. No reason to quit now. No reason to go home unless it's just for your family. And I said, if that's it, if that's the reason, if it's family first, I got it. Recommit to your family, I got it. Mm-hmm. But I told you last week, I don't got it. I can't wrap my head around it because it still feels like, as cold-blooded as I might be sitting here, it feels like a waste of all-time great talent because he's playing at the highest level he's ever played at. Obviously, nobody has ever been more experienced at that position than he is right here, right now.
Correct.
There's no physical reason to stop. I'm sure he could have as great a year at 45 as he had at 44. I believe he could lift whatever team into the playoffs, if not another Super Bowl. Would I be shocked if he came back and won a Super Bowl? I would absolutely not be shocked. So I did first guess this last week because I kept telling you, what is he doing? I don't get it because there was no hint of it at all through the year. He dropped no hints of burning out, I'm beat up, I'm having a harder time just refreshing each week. I can't figure it out. Did he say I'm getting sick and tired of the meetings, of the film study?
No.
I can't bounce back anymore. My body's not cooperating. I heard none of that all year. And then bolt out of the blue. What? I get a text from somebody that I know inside the organization, and he said, we'll be pleasantly surprised if he comes back next year. That was the day after they lost. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what? And then I get another text, no, we'll be pleasantly shocked if he comes back. And then that manifested itself, and yet ESPN had the report, Adam Schefter, Jeff Darlington, and it sort of forced Brady's hand, and then 24 hours later, he's forced to do the IG post, yeah, I'm out, I'm gone. And now he's equivocating. He's back and forth. Every line in this podcast was, I don't think I will, but you never know. I don't think, but you never know what might happen in 6 months. And to me, he sent messages all around the league, I'm open for business again.
No, what I got from that is he's selfish. This isn't about Tom Brady. Nobody has tried to upstage Tom Brady. When Tom Brady had his moment in the Super Bowl, it was about the Super Bowl. Tom Brady knew what he was doing. For someone that says they don't like attention, it damn sure seemed like he loves attention because he knew what this was going to cause. Him uttering those words, yeah, I'm retired, but you never know. Really? If you was this uncertain, no one told you to make this decision after that loss. You kept all this under wrap for the entire season. And you still could have went until March. You could have went until April before you made a final decision. You made this decision. Now you want to upstage. Now somebody else getting a little bit of shine. Tom Brady is not in the Super Bowl. Now he's trying to steal that thunder. Man, go sit down. Listen, I don't care if he comes back and play. There's going to come a time, Tom Brady, whether you play 22, 23, 24, 27, there will come a time you're going to have to sit down. And guess what? You won't be the center of attention. Tom Brady is starting to think, man, damn, I'm just Tom Brady now. Not Tom Brady. Hold on.
Yep.
Why they talk about Joe Burrow? Why they talk about Matthew Stafford and not me? That's how it goes. That's how it goes. Eventually, you'll just be one of those greats that people no longer talk about on a daily basis. Tom, enjoy retirement. Go sit your butt down. Now, in a week or two, he going to release an IG post. Him with a football, him throwing, and the speculations go all again. So in other words, although they haven't won the same, he has a lot more Aaron Rodgers in him than we previously thought.
You think he can play again next year? Do you think he's capable?
I didn't think he couldn't play. Do I think he's being selfish by doing this right before the Super Bowl? Yes. Do I think he, like Aaron Rodgers, loved this attention because after he did what he did on draft day, the day of the draft, Aaron Rodgers did what he did. 3-4 days before the Super Bowl, Tom Brady's doing what he did. This ain't about you, bruh. You had 10 moments like this, and everybody let you have their moment. This is the first time for Matthew Stafford and Joe Burrow. Let them have their moment.
But what if he just decided, I made a mistake? For the first time in my life, I jumped the gun.
So,
my hand got forced by ESPN, and as he said, I try to make the best possible decision I can in the moment, which I did last week. Well, that was the best possible decision at that moment when they had forced my hand, leaning toward retirement.
All day was Skip. They didn't force your hand. So by them leaking the information, force you to retire, they said you were thinking about retirement. So you had already decided what you were going to do. Someone in your circle leaked that information to them. They didn't force your hand. Just like you kept it secret for the entirety of the season that you were contemplating, couldn't you keep it a secret for another month or two? Oh, you couldn't.
Or maybe he slept on it for 2 or 3 nights and realized, I messed this up.
Skip.
I don't want to stop. I want to play.
Let me ask you a question.
I need to send the message out while everybody's on high alert because it's Super Bowl week. Hey, I'm in business. I'll come and play.
I don't know if anybody's ever sold something and then had regrets about selling it, but I have. I had, you retire. Is this the right decision? Damn, I can still play. Damn, I
but
feel
you said
good.
you had no second thoughts.
No, but I'm saying, no. Once it got passed, but Skip, I was thinking, when I made the decision to retire, I'm thinking about, damn, but I can still play. I'm still a top 5 tight end. That's what the numbers say. Man, nah, man. But man, I can still let it go, Skip. Let it go.
Are you jealous of Tom Brady?
No.
Okay. Do you resent him?
I resent the tension. What I resent is people like you try to make Tom Brady this mythical that, oh, he doesn't care about attention. Oh, he doesn't have feelings. Oh, he doesn't have that. And come to find out, Tom Brady is more sensitive because the greater the achievement or the accomplishment that an individual have, the more sensitive they are.
Maybe it's not about attention. Maybe he just wants to play football and he wants everybody to know, I jumped the gun. I don't want to stop.
Okay, why did he jump the gun? That was your decision. You say Tom Brady's in control of everything. Tom Brady controls everything. Nobody forced him to make this decision.
I just told you, maybe he made the first mistake of his life. Premature retirement. Maybe he finally came to his senses, like I opened up telling you that maybe he just said, what am I doing? But, I need to let everybody know I'm really not retired.
So let me ask you this. The things that led him to retire, did those go away? Yes or no?
No, but
okay.
You so know what I know. You kept saying it's all about family. Maybe it wasn't about family.
He said it. That's what he said. He said, it's time for me, for those that have devoted their life to me, it's time for me to return the favor to them. That's what he said. I didn't say that. He said it. If it's a lie, he told it.
I know, but you jumped on that train and just drove it all the way home. It's all about family. And I kept saying, I don't know about that.
Hold on. Didn't the source tell you if Tom was single, he would still be playing? So what the hell is that about? Don't you have to have a family if you're married?
That's Tampa Bay's view of this.
Okay.
Maybe he wants to play elsewhere. next year.
Oh, now he wants to play elsewhere.
Well, maybe. I kept telling you.
Oh, so now he can't win there. So, damn, what does he need?
Help me out. Would the 49ers be better next year with Tom Brady at the helm of his childhood team or Trey Lance?
If they didn't want him at 42, why the hell they want him at 45?
Well, they made the mistake of their lives.
But still, they're at peace with it. It seems to me your guy isn't at peace with his decision. It seems to me your guy wants a little bit of attention. It's not about you, bruh.
Maybe he wants to come back just to haunt you.
He ain't gonna haunt me.
Well, he haunted you. You got tears in your eyes the other day when you heard he was retiring because you said the league did not make him stop.
They didn't make him retire.
Right?
But I'm disappointed that he retired. But okay, stay your butt retired. Stop jumping across the field. Oh, I'm retired. I'm unretired. I'm retired. I'm unretired. Bro, make up your mind and make a decision and keep it moving.
I think he just made one. I'm unretired.
Before the Super Bowl. This ain't about that tension. See, that's what happens, Skip. You keep talking about the competition and all that. You miss the attention that comes with that.
Well, he's been in 10 and should have won 9, so he's probably addicted to that.
Yes, probably. Probably.
Your worst nightmare is back.
No, my worst nightmare, the Rams got this. I don't even worry about nothing. Matthew Stafford sent him into retirement. Beat him twice.
The Rams got
Beat him twice.
I'm not sure they got this.
Beat him twice. I don't know what they're going to do with Cincinnati. I know what they did to Tampa.
Fair. Okay. We love Tom, but I do fear, I love Tom, that the Brady fatigue, if we keep playing this game, we're all going to feel it. We felt it before. He knows what he's doing talking about this, guys.
No mercy.
In a recent revelation, Kyler Murray unfollowed the Cardinals on his Instagram and Twitter handles and also removed all team-related photos from the social media accounts. This has led to a lot of speculation about his future after Arizona had a brutal playoff loss at the hands of the Rams. Shannon, this has a breakup written all over it. I've seen this play out before. What's going on here?
Yeah, this is the way these new kids communicate. This is the way they break up, Skip. They just unfollow each other.
Yep.
We're done.
Instead of communicating and having a sit down, go and whoever Steve Keim, I don't know who the general manager is there, Cliff Kingsbury. If there's something going on, go to Arizona, sit down, talk to him and say, man, this is my problem. I need a better protection. I need this. I need that. Whatever the case may be.
Is it that contract, the 5th year?
Yeah,
option?
right. Skip. I mean, so for me, I just don't get it. What more could the Cardinals do? They've tailored, because he needs to be in a very specific type of an offense.
Agreed.
They tailored the offense. They hired Cliff Kingsbury. Now, that should be a part of the lawsuit. Cliff Kingsbury, I've never seen a guy lose up. He get fired and get a head coaching job. How do you get fired at Texas Tech and get a head coaching job in the NFL? That's another story. We'll talk about that at a time coming near you. Look at that Kyler down the stretch. In the playoff loss against the Rams, 0 to 100 is how they measure QBR. He had an 8.
He did.
He lost 5 of his last 6 starts. The only start that he won, he beat the Cowboys.
Yeah.
In his last 6 starts, he had 1 game over 50 QBR. And I'm confused. I just wish these young people would learn how to communicate. If you got a problem, just go sit down.
Yep.
All this unfollowing, this passive aggressiveness, you know, let's get that passive aggressive. I'm just going to unfollow you. You know what that means. Why you just can't tell me? If there's something I did to upset you, just tell me. Let's talk about it. Man, I'm time out for this.
You know how much I love me some Kyler Murray, and I do not love this. This is a bad look from a young quarterback who did make the Pro Bowl this year. You could debate whether he deserved it or not, and we did.
Yeah.
But I fought for him, and he went, and he played pretty well in the Pro Bowl for what it's worth. And it's not worth much.
I think Mike Evans got his first touchdown catching.
I have no idea what's actually going on here, but this is not the way to do business.
I agree.
And you cannot defend what has happened not 1 year, but 2 straight years where you went like this and then you went like that.
Correct.
And you fell apart because are you not big enough and strong enough to take the beating? Because you just get beaten to a pulp and all of a sudden you lose it down the stretch.
Yes.
And you said, well, we learned from our lessons a year ago. No, you didn't learn from you repeated history. Exactly, you repeated it. and you ended with the biggest stud. What was it, an 8 QBR?
Yeah, he had 8 against the Rams.
He had an 8 QBR, and he looked hopeless and hapless while achieving that 8.
Right.
And I was embarrassed for them, embarrassed for him. Again, Cliff Kingsbury was the greatest thing that could have ever happened to Kyler Murray because he tried to recruit him. He knew him. He believed in him. He propped him up. They went and stole DeAndre Hopkins for him. Now, he didn't have him down the stretch, obviously, and that hurt.
Right.
Because you want to talk about a security blanket, that was maybe the best one in the league as far as just pure security went.
Right.
So can you right the wrong next year if he can stay healthy, D-Hop all the way home?
Well, hell, Kyler need to stay healthy.
That's the point.
You talking about D-Hop? This is an isolated incident with D-Hop. We haven't seen him miss the kind of time that he missed this year.
Yep.
We've seen Kyler Murray, Skip, every year, and that was my concern. I say, Skip, that is a small man. I said, even if they don't hit him solid, just a 300-pound man falling on a man his size is going to hurt. It's going to take its toll. And plus, a part of his game is running.
Yep.
When you run, they tackle you.
Yep.
You don't get afforded the protection outside of the pocket as you do in the pocket. But whatever is on his mind, I believe he could have gone to the Arizona Cardinals, had a conversation to whom it may concern, and let's try to work out these issues. And if we can't, we can't. But I don't believe this. Really? That's some petty.
It's really petty. And I wonder, because too many of these young stars, especially quarterbacks, fall victim to social media, as in reading their mentions, reading their ads.
Yeah.
And I wonder if 2 or 3 negative comments sent him spinning, and he's taking it out on the Cardinals like he's taking it out on everybody.
Right.
Well, if you don't love me, I'm out.
Right.
I'm on the market now.
Yeah,
I'll go play baseball.
He done scrubbed everything.
Yeah.
But if this ain't social media, because when people dating, if you go back and look at their page, like, dang, look at all the pictures he got. Look at all the pictures he got. Go back 1 month later. Hold on, I thought they was what pictures?
Scrubbed.
Hold on, what pictures?
Gone.
That's what he did. He got 2 posts up there. The man had like 1,000 posts. Now he got 2. Come on, Kyler.
Come on, Kyler. He loves to play with the chip on his shoulder, as did Baker, who was before him at Oklahoma. But this is beneath your dignity. You're better than this.
You just have to be really ready to break up with someone when you take all that info off, because no one's going to forget
and
that.
And just guess what? They put it right back up there. 2 weeks later, they put it right back up there. No.
Oh, just kidding. I'm still following you guys. I'll be following his social accounts. I'll keep you guys posted. No mercy. And LeBron hosts Giannis and the Bucks tonight. And LA finds themselves as 5-point home underdogs against the defending champs. So, Shannon, what shot do you give the Lakers to pull off the upset?
Give them a great shot. Give me them 5 points, Skip, for 2 cases.
I'll give you 4.
I take it. Done. Appreciate it.
Thank you. 2 cases. 4.
AD has been great. He's dominated everybody he's played. Doesn't have a whole lot to show for it, but he's been sensational. LeBron James has been GOAT James upon his return. Well, if we can just keep Russ to a bare minimum, we're going to be just fine. Got him.
They were so great the other night, it took overtime to beat the 24-28 Knicks.
We underestimated them.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, we underestimated them.
Milwaukee's playing at a high level.
Hey, you see how did Spike lead crypto? How did he lead the crypto? How did he lead?
Yep.
You see him all slumped down?
Yep.
He was up there first. He was up Julius Randle making shot. R.J. Barrett making shot. Then next thing you know, he like this here.
The King is in big trouble tonight. Now you're stepping up in class. This is not the Knicks anymore.
Skip.
This is not the Trailblazers.
Skip. You talking about you stepping up in class?
Yeah.
We already the head of the class.
Really? But
Y'all just came in the classroom. We're in the front of the class.
You've got a swollen knee, though.
Yeah, you know.
About to put it in Giannis tonight.
Don't worry. We will talk about the game tomorrow. I can promise you that.
Yes.
Good stuff, guys. We're back tomorrow. The Herd is on now. Have a great day.